Hey guys, welcome to my January book haul. I have quite a few books here to show you, which is a little scary because one of my goals for this year is to read books within 3 months of purchasing them. So we'll see here. But first I want to show you a couple of new book products, Bookish products, that should be up in my Etsy store by the time this video goes live, if not very shortly after. I made my first Anne of Green Gables inspired shirt. I'm currently wearing it. It is this Kindred Spirit sweatshirt. It's really cozy and I wanted something that like was inspired by Anne of Green Gables but not like, it didn't just say like Anne on it or something. And so I went with Kindred Spirit and I really like it. This is a unisex shirt and I'm wearing the medium. I like it to be a little bit baggy and loose, so there's that. Then I gave a little sneak peek on my newsletter and on my Patreon, but I have these adorable mugs. So far it's just the one design, but more designs probably to come soon. There's a little stack of books there on both sides, so it doesn't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed. These are like camping mugs. They're stainless steel, but they're coated in white on the inside and the outside. And I think they hold 14 ounces of fluid if I'm correct. And then I've got one more thing that will be going up in the shop, and this is the book stack tote bag. So it's like my book stack shirt that I wear a lot, but it's a tote bag. And one of the things I'm excited about for this is it does have a flat bottom. So I believe the one that I ordered is the small, but there is going to be a small and a large in the shop. After I share my book haul, we're gonna see together how many books actually fit in here. This one's not massive, but if you look up in the shop, I'm gonna have both the small and the large available. So depending on how big your library hauls are or your book shopping hauls, you can decide what size of bag you want. Yeah, so we will see exactly how many fit in there shortly. Okay, so let's now get into the books. Most of these are from Book Outlet. Except I got a few that were gifted to me that I want to start with because I got a couple for Christmas and one arrived in the mail and I don't know who it's from. So this person needs to fess up. So first of all, I'll talk about two that I got for Christmas from Holly. We always exchange Christmas gifts. It's really nice to have like a bookish friend that lives close to me that I can do that with, and I got two books from her. I got this one, which is Hidden by Helen Frost. It says an accidental kidnapping leaves two girls grasping for answers. And this one is a free verse novel. So nice short lines. I like free verse novels. I'm assuming it's probably a YA book. So I've never heard anything about this book or even this author, I believe. So I've got that. Don't know anything about it. And then a James L. Rubart book. This is Book of Days. I own a few James L. Rubart, but I don't even own this one. I've read 1.5 of his books. I read one and then I started reading one from the library and never got to it before I had to bring it back. This one says it's Christian suspense. Often his are like supernatural suspense in some kind of way. Often. I mean, I've read one. Usually there's some kind of like supernatural thing going on. This one says God's Book of Days, a record of the past, present, and future of every soul. Some say it's fable, others are sure it's real, hidden somewhere on earth. If Cameron can't find it, he will lose everything. So, James L. Rubart is an author that I own quite a few books by. I have my TBR shelf over there, and I have a few of his that I have not read yet. And so I should start reading some of them, because I think I will like his writing / I have enjoyed the one book I've read. Now, my book that I don't know who it came from, it just showed up one day and I was like, huh, I didn't think I ordered anything from Book Depository. And was like, maybe I did and I forgot, because it does happen. But no, I didn't order this. Somebody sent me Agatha Christie's Complete Secret Notebooks. Stories and Secrets of Murder in the Making. Yeah, so this is really cool. I didn't even know this book existed, so I definitely know I didn't accidentally order it. Thank you to whoever sent it to me. Leave me a comment. Tell me if you sent it. Unearthed after her death were 73 private notebooks whose contents were to remain largely mysterious until John Curran began to decipher her almost unreadable handwriting. combined into one definitive volume. It's a fully revised and updated edition, explores the techniques she used to surprise and entertain generations of readers. Are you serious? Okay, well, I mean, this is a tome. Like, this is over 700 pages. It's going to take me a while to read, but I'm really excited to read this. And then I guess I probably, if it talks about how different mysteries came about, I don't want to read the ones that I haven't read yet. So maybe after I read some, then I read this. Oh, so many good ones. Okay, and I just did my Crooked House video where I tried to solve Crooked House, and she's got a few pages of notes on that, and it looks like there are pages on every single, at least almost all of the books that she wrote. That is awesome. That is exciting. Thank you so much to whoever sent this to me. Then I have some like bookish things here. One of my subscribers slash patrons over on Patreon sent me some cute little bookmarks with books, and you know, you can read the titles on there. These are really cute. She even sent some for my kids, and they grabbed some and are using them, and these are really adorable, so I wanted to share them. I don't know where they're from. There's a cute little kitty there, which I think is just perfect. Don't know where they're from, but they're adorable. And then I forgot to share this in my last book haul. I got this a while ago now, but this is a bookmark from a VHS. Maybe I should like hold it not upside down. A VHS tape that Amanda from the Curly Reader made. She made a bunch of them, different Disney ones, and I bought the Cinderella one, and so I've been using this in my books lately. Okay, now on to a book outlet. Like I've said before, I get a decent amount of free rewards from Book Outlet because when people make their first purchase through my referral link, then they get a credit. I think it's like $5 now. They changed it off of their first order, and I get $5 off my next order, and then it adds up, and this happens. Yeah, okay. So one of my goals for 2022 is to read books within 3 months of buying them. So that doesn't include books that I've been gifted, just books that I bought, and then if I've already read it, it doesn't count. Like I don't have to reread it, because I'm trying to buy books that I've read and enjoyed, or stick with authors that I've read and enjoyed. And I think I'm going to have to make a little bit of an exception to my rule. If it is a bind up of short stories, I would like to have started it within the first 3 months, but I'm kind of enjoying dragging short stories out, short story collections. So yeah, I still have quite a few books to read in the next 3 months now, but here we go. Oh, and then my other exception is classics, because I'm trying to collect classics off of my list of classics I want to read before I die. And so if I find a copy, I'm going to buy it, even if I don't plan on reading it in the next 3 months or a year. And here's one of them. I got The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. So I just read her Agnes Grey a couple months ago and fairly enjoyed it. I didn't realize this one was so much bigger than Agnes Grey though. That one's like just teeny. I don't know anything about it, but it is on my list of classics I want to read before I die. So I purchased it when I saw it for super cheap on Book Outlet. Then here is a book, and it's a collection of short stories that I randomly found on Book Outlet. Sometimes I feel like things are hard to find there, and then the next time I just find the jackpot. So this is a collection of short stories of fairly famous authors. It's The Adventure of the Plated Spoon and Other Tales of Sherlock Holmes, and it's authorized and licensed by the estate of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. But it's a bind-up of short stories from a variety of different people. So J.M. Barrie, lots of people I've never heard of. There is a Sherlock story here. There's Laurie R. King. There's a few Sherlock stories. Tons of people I've never heard of that probably other people have heard of. So there are, I don't know, like 12 different short stories in this book. So I'm excited about that. This kind of came out because after reading a short story collection from Agatha Christie back in December, I realized how much I like that. So I picked up this one, and then I picked up another one as a result, and also didn't realize how big this one was going to be. This is the Black Lizard Big Book of Locked Room Mysteries, the most complete collection of impossible crime stories ever assembled. So once again, this has stories from a variety of different authors, And I really like how this one is laid out. In the table of contents, they have broken the stories up by type of mystery. So the first section is just familiar as the rose in spring. The most popular and frequently printed impossible crime stories of all time. So we got G.K. Chesterton, Edgar Allan Poe, Wilkie Collins, Arthur Conan Doyle. And then the next section is, this was the unkindest cut of all. Stabbing in a completely sealed environment appears to be the most common murder method. And then there's a bunch of stories of where this happens. Some of the authors I've heard of here are Stephen King, and well, that's all in that section. Footprints in the sand of time. Is there a more baffling scenario than to find a body in smooth sand or snow with no footprints leading to or from the victim? I really like how they've laid this out. And we missed it, lost forever. It is a fantasy for many people to disappear from the present lives. Some people disappear because they want to. Others disappear because someone else wants them to. And objects, large objects, sometimes disappear in the same manner. So these all have mysteries to do with that. Who have I heard of here? None of these authors. Okay, so it's gonna be interesting. So there's a lot of authors I've never heard of. And then there's an Agatha Christie, wow, Dorothy L. Sayers, P.G. Wodehouse, who I've heard of but never read anything by. And then, like I said, Arthur Conan Doyle and Chesterton and Edgar Allan Poe and Wilkie Collins. So I think it's a good mix of people I've heard of and people I haven't. Maybe it will lead me to some new authors, and so this is not going to be read in 3 months, but I'm going to start this for sure. Then I bought a graphic novel. Holly has raved about this one a lot. This is 5 Worlds, The Sand Warrior. So I'm pretty sure this is a graphic novel. Like, yeah. So it's not a manga. It reads the right way to me instead of backwards like manga does. Anyway, she liked this series / at least this one that I remember, and I never really read graphic novels, so I wanted to give it a try. Then I found a beautiful edition of one of my favorite children's classics that I don't talk about because I read it a few times quite a while ago. It's been a while since I read it, and I think it's about time that I reread it. But this is The Secret Garden. First of all, it comes in this like case, and then the book is just gorgeous. I'm excited to read it out of this edition. And then I love the illustrations. The only thing that bothers me, now it's been a little while since I read the book, but I'm pretty sure that Mary, the main character, they talk a lot about her hair being black, I thought. Unless I'm remembering this incorrectly. But her hair is definitely not black in this. So there's not a ton of pictures, but the ones that are there are stunning. Yeah, so even though I've read this one before, I think I'm going to be rereading it again fairly soon. Especially the spring. I think this might be a really good spring read. Yeah, I'm excited to reread this one and excited to have this like really pretty edition on my shelves. I don't even know how to display it because I like both here. Okay, so that book outlet was one order, and then I did another book outlet order and got a few more books. So where do I start here? Sure, we'll start with nonfiction. My only nonfiction on this pile. This is Sarah Mackenzie's The Read Aloud Family. I read this book shortly after it came out a couple years ago. It's making meaningful and lasting connections with your kids. It's all about, I don't know, like bonding through books. And I think she also has a section here of, yeah, like book recommendations as well. Many of which we have read over the years because I've listened to her podcast for a long time. This is really dusty. And it wasn't on the top of my stack, so it's not dusty from me. It just was dusty from Book Outlet, apparently. Yeah, so it's been a few years since I read this, so I do plan on rereading it, but probably not within the next 3 months, unless I feel like it. Okay, then I bought some Terry Blackstock. I got The Gifted, which I think is like a supernatural kind of book for her. 3 friends rescued from the rubble of an earthquake, miraculously healed of their injuries, then gifted with mysterious powers. Yeah, so this is, I think, sounds quite a bit different than Terry Blackstock's usual like mystery suspense kind of stuff, but I like her writing, so I'm willing to try this one, and it's super short. So I can read that within the next 3 months for sure. And then I got an entire series of hers. This is what's the actual series called? I don't know. I think this is the correct order. I think it's Intervention, Vicious Cycle, and then Downfall. Possibly the correct order. And from what I know, book 1 starts out with this woman trying to give her daughter who is addicted to drugs. They're staging an intervention, but then as she's going to the airport, they find out that Emily, the daughter, has disappeared and her interventionist is found dead. So then they try to solve that. And this series was written, I think, 2008-ish was the first copyright, 2009. And I really like Terry Blackstock's trilogies usually, so I have high hopes for this one. I haven't ever read this one to my knowledge, but it's entirely possible. So those will have to go on my TBR real soon. And then I did something that I'm trying not to do, and that is I bought an author that I've never read from, and I can access her books from the library, so maybe this wasn't the smartest of purchases, but I bought The Vanished Bride by Bella Ellis. This is a Bronte Sisters mystery. I just shared this in a library haul recently with a different cover. And then I got book 2, which is The Diabolical Bones. So this is supposed to be like the Bronte sisters if they were like detectives, and it's set in 1845. And I feel like I'm going to like these, so I ordered them. Hopefully I actually do. So just to show you the books that I ordered that I haven't read. Okay, well, these are the ones that I ordered that I haven't read that are not short stories or the classic. So in theory, I should be reading all of these in the next 3 months. So I'm gonna have to kind of write myself a list or something. So that is kind of like all for the book haul. But now I just want to see like how many of these books actually fit in this bag. So it's all about strategic planning. And then depending on how many books fit in here will say, kind of determine what is this bag used for. Is this a library bag? Is this a weekend reading retreat bag? I'm just making things up. Oh, it can fit a decent amount in here. Trying to put like the average size books in here. Okay, well right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 books in there, and that's not even full. We'll go for the big book. So this is what it looks like with 12 books, some of which are fairly large. And then this massive book on top, still have space. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this one in there, but this one can yet. So that just held my entire book haul. Nope, this one's going on top. Okay, that one doesn't quite fit. Define fit. Okay, I just got all the books in here. Perfectly right to the top, all the books in the bag. So now if I am correct, this is the small version, and I do plan on putting a bigger version of this tote bag in the shop as well, which makes it more able for me with my large book hauls to go to the library and fill that up. So there you have it, guys. Let me know something that you've been purchasing lately and what I should start with all these books that I got.